Good morning, grade 5, my dear students. How are you? Today is 16 April 2020. Uh, Topic 16, lesson 3, continue to classify quadrilaterals. Our lesson today in page 863. Please open the page and be ready to our lesson today. First thing you have to know in this lesson, the family tree of quadrilaterals. This family tree shows how special quadrilaterals are related to each other. So in this lesson, we are going to know that the quadrilaterals are related, but they are not the same. So if you focus on this family tree, you will find the figures of quadrilaterals we have studied before. You will find a common property for all these shapes, that if they are all formed of four sides, and we said the word four meant by quad in a Latin language, so they are all quadrilaterals. You have also to revise the categories of quadrilaterals are classified by their properties according to the lesson of yesterday. As you see, the trapezoid properties and parallelogram properties and Roberts properties, also the square properties, as you see in front of you. You have to revise them. You have to memorize and save them, okay? In each branch of the trees show a subcategory of the figure above. A square is the type of rectangle. All rectangles are parallelograms. A category can have more than one subcategory according to the family, as you see in the figure. Each figure shares all the properties of the figures above it. A square and rectangle have four right angles, so all of the figures below in the parallelogram have two pairs of parallel opposite sides. So I can consider these four shapes related, but they are not the same, okay? So I can consider the rhombus as parallelogram, the rectangle as parallelogram, the square as parallelogram. Why? Because they all have pairs of parallel sides. Okay, my dear. Listen to the visual learning on the same lesson, submitted material and personal line account. It will be easy for you to understand the lesson better. The first page, solve and share. Look at quadrilaterals below in the table and write the letters for all the figures that are trapezoid. Then do the same with each of the other quadrilaterals and work with a partner to solve this problem. As you see in the page, there are about 10 shapes in front of you, each one labeled by a capital letter. The first one represented by G, M, R, Q, S, L, U, V, N, O. You are going to fill the table according to what? According to the required point inside the table. You can classify all these shapes in front of you according to the requirements that are found in the table. The first one, trapezoids. Where is the trapezoids? G or M or R or Q or what? You are going to select R and O and S. Where is R? This is R. O and S are as trapezoid. Why? Because just only they have one pair of parallel sides. And this is the most important property for trapezoid. So when we have a quadrilateral just has one pair of parallel side, it will be trapezoid. Parallelograms. Where are the parallelograms? Yes, G. It's a rectangle, Mr. Walid. We said that we can consider rectangle as parallelogram. L, sure, parallelogram. V, it's a rhombus. And also from the family tree figure we studied before or mentioned before, We can consider rhombs as parallelogram. M, where is M? M, sure, parallelogram. N also on the shape of parallelogram. Each two opposite sides are parallel, each two opposite sides are equal in length. Rectangles, just G is rectangle. What is the difference between rhombus and rectangle and also parallelogram? The only one difference here that the rectangle has 4 right angles inside, whereas a square, there is no square, 0 inside this figure. Rhombus, just 1. Here is V. Okay, copy the answer and move to the next question in the same page. Look back. Okay, my dear. Look back. Which quadrilateral had the most figures listed? Explain why this group had the most. According to the given table above that you just solved, most of the shapes were parallelograms. It is the most shapes listed. Why? Because rectangles and rhombs share the same properties of parallelogram, and we mentioned for that from the family tree we mentioned at the first of the lesson. Okay, copy the answer. If you're ready, move to the next page. Convince. Okay, my dear. And convince me, when can a rectangle be a rhombus? This is a question. And can a rhombus be a rectangle? Explain using example. Okay. A square is a rectangle and a rhombus also. So the square can be considered as a rectangle and rhombus. Therefore, the only time a rectangle can be a rhombus or a rhombus can be a rectangle is when it is a square. Okay, my dear? Copy the answer and move to the next page, guided practice. Question number 1 in guide. Explain how the family tree diagram on page 864 shows that every square is a rectangle. Okay. Since a square is below a rectangle in the family tree diagram, every square is an example of a rectangle. How are rectangle and rhombus are alike? This is question number 2. How are a rectangle and rhombus alike? The answer, both rectangles and rhombus are parallelograms. Okay. Question number 3. From 3 to 6, tell whether each statement is true or false. Question number 3. All rectangles are squares, true or false? False. I can't consider the rectangle as a square or the square as a rectangle because they have different properties. Just they are the same, that each of them containing 4 right angles inside. But I can't consider all. The word all here means you can't consider all rectangles as squares. Okay, question number 4. Every rhombus is a parallelogram? Sure. From the family tree, the parallelogram, special case, the rhombus is a special case of parallelogram. This is true. Number 5. Parallelograms are special rectangles? False. Because parallelograms didn't contain right angles inside. A trapezoid can be a square? False also. Trapezoid, just one pair of sides are parallel. There is no 4 sides equal in length, 4 angles equal in measure, equal 90 degrees. zero, everything. So a trapezoid cannot be a square. Okay. If you're ready, move to the independent brackets in the same page and start solve it. Write whether each statement is true or false. All rhombuses are rectangles. True or false? False. Number 8. Every trapezoid is a quadrilateral. True or false? True. Number 9. Rhombuses are special parallelograms. True or false? True. Number 10. All rectangles are quadrilaterals. True. Number 11. What properties does the shape have and why is it not parallelogram? As you see, this shape is not parallelogram and not a rhombus. It's a quadrilateral with two sets of equal non-parallel sides. And parallelogram has two pairs of equal parallel sides. Okay, question number 12. Why is a square is also a rhombus? Both are parallelograms with 4 equal sides and the square is found under the rhombus in the family tree diagram. Finish copying the answer and move to the last page in the lesson, Common Core Assessment, Math Problem Solving. Jeff says that the figure below is a rhombus. How can I do that? Look at the figure in front of you. It's colored in the green color. Is Jeff correct in his saying that this shape is a rhombus? I don't think so. So he is incorrect. No, this figure does not have all sides the same in length or equal in length. This is not a rhombus because we have here inside of you in this green shape, each side are equal in length and also each side are parallel. So this is not a rhombus. Jeff is incorrect for saying that. Okay, part B is the same question. What name he used to describe the figure? I can call this figure with just 2 names. What are they? Because this figure is formed of 4 sides just only, I can say that quadrilaterals. And this shape I study on a name of parallelogram. So the 2 names just only here, parallelogram and quadrilaterals. This is the last point in our lesson today. Thanks for watching. I'm waiting for you in the next session, inshallah.